Everybody says, hey, if you're looking for conversions, if you're looking to get something out of it, not just attention, because yeah, TikTok could get you a lot of views, and a lot of people love saying, oh, I got 300,000 views. Okay, great. But how many clients did you get out of it is ultimately what it matters. So give me your top number one platform. If you could only do one platform and do it for the next 5 years, and you completely don't do the other ones, which one would that be?
Welcome to my legal academy, helping lawyers work smart, scale fast, and enjoy life.
Violetta asked specific questions about generating leads. It's a very specific question. She asked regarding generating leads for marriage-based visas. She's currently running Google ads, but she's not getting the results that she's hoping for. What do you suggest? If you needed more marriage-based visas, what would you do?
So I would say producing content is very key, and Google ads can be very effective. Facebook ads. I think organic content can be really valuable for generating qualified leads.
So let's get into the whole talk about organic, because I think organic is so aligned up with immigration, so much so, probably the most, I would say, out of everything, because it's a very information-based thing. It's a very problem-based thing. So there's a lot that can be discussed. There's a lot of it too. So give me your top number one platform. If you could only do one platform and do it for the next 5 years, and you completely don't do the other ones, which one would that be?
Okay, so if I had to pick one kind of mechanism for generating
one platform, one social media platform that you could consistently produce content for the next 5 years while not doing any other platform.
YouTube is the most appropriate platform for long form content. And I think for immigration, I think being able to have a 6 to 12 minute video is going to be more valuable than having like a 30-second TikTok. So I think YouTube is better for that purpose.
It goes to, you mentioned that long form versus short form content. And I kind of had these ideas myself that I'm like, no, that's where it's at. But it got affirmed over and over. I think one of the biggest ones that really pushed me over the edge was Attorney Tom. I don't know if you guys know Attorney Tom. He went all into TikTok early, blew up, did really well. And then about I think 6 months ago, he completely ditched TikTok and he went on YouTube. Like this guy who's at the top of TikTok completely just abandons it and now starts focusing on YouTube. Like if for him to do that, that was like, whoa, okay, that was like a big one. Also among marketing communities, there's a big talk versus always about long form versus short form, all that to summarize and just it. Everybody says, hey, if you're looking for conversions, if you're looking to get something out of it, not just attention, because yeah, TikTok could get you a lot of views, and a lot of people love saying, oh, I got 300,000 views. Okay, great. But how many clients did you get out of it is ultimately what it matters. And I hate people that lead with, oh, I have 1 million followers on Instagram and TikTok. I'm like, so what? I don't care you have 1 million. By the way, let me just put it out there too. All these people that have 1 million or 300,000, 90% of it is fake. It's all the people that start early buying followers. No, I can't say it publicly, but I'll just say it. It's because it's super annoying. And people that's like their authority. I have 1 million Instagram followers. Come listen to me about this stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like looking at your post, you're only getting like 16 likes. You don't have 1 million followers. So YouTube is where it's at. That's where I've been pushing. Michael, you want to start? Also, we used to have this conversation 4 years ago, and I think I pushed you to YouTube, right? Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah, we needed to basically during COVID, we needed to update our audience, like our clients basically, on what the changes were that were going on. Like there were all kinds of changes that took place during COVID, and we started off recording YouTube videos, more seriously to update our audience, our client base, and our contacts and our network of what was taking place and making it more digestible, because there was, talks. I remember like a tweet went out and then my cousin said, is immigration closed? Like is all immigration on hold for now? And a lot of people had similar questions. So we had to kind of produce videos to basically update our audience. So we would record YouTube videos and email them to our client base to make sure that they knew what was going on. And then we just kind of continued from there. So yes, I certainly think that YouTube videos are highly effective.
There are a lot of people, when they do YouTube, they always evaluate based on how many views that they got in their most recent videos. I had this epiphany a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm seeing this. Let's just say, let's just evaluate my own channel. Okay. On the front end, you see whatever, 100 views, 144, 222. That's what you see on the front end. And people that don't understand it will maybe evaluate it based on that. But what matters is that you're not just getting those views in the first couple of days. Great. But it's the fact that those videos that you posted months ago and years ago, they're all compounding. And this is what matters. You know, in the past 30 days, I got 16,000 more views than that went up to 43. So if I do quick math, 43 minus 16 is 27, and I went up. Yeah, so 16 over 27. That's pretty strong. I pretty much grew 60% just in the past 30 days, which is crazy. So this is a true number, and that's the same for you, Michael. If I look on the front end, sure, okay, 1,000 views, but no, when you look at this, you're actually month after month, you're getting 30% more views, or up to maybe even 60% more views. And that's the true beauty of it, is it compounds and it's sitting there and it's evergreen, especially. And we talked about this, Michael, too. You want to bring this up, but evergreen versus fresh stuff?
Yeah. So, by the way, immigration is so broad. You know, you have people that do asylum work, you have people that do primarily family-based immigration, some people that do removal defense, business immigration. Everybody's content, you know, may be slightly different, but in immigration, you know, you can update people regarding like current trends in your specific, you know, practice area, or you can kind of talk, you know, more detail about, you know, the requirements of a particular immigration benefit that your client may be seeking, or you name it. So there's kind of, you know, evergreen is referring to content that isn't like something that's just in the current news cycle, but it's like something that, you know, kind of will be relevant to somebody for an extended period of time. In immigration, you know, there's always changes happening. So, I mean, to the extent that something can be truly evergreen, is there's always changes, but something that would not be evergreen, for example, would be like a news update that's kind of relevant for that in that moment, or for a few weeks after that.
If it was me, my strategy would be early on when you're starting this channel, it would be evergreen to kind of build that foundation and your base of those videos, and then let time help you grow those views. And then you use potentially news-worthy or update types of videos to get more views for your evergreen kind of stuff. So probably hybrid will be the way to go. What is your conversion rate from consultations to contracts?
Hey, hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you're a lawyer and you're looking to work smart, scale fast, and enjoy life, right below this video, you'll find a link to book a call to speak to my team so we can tell you how we've been able to help over 500 law firm owners scale their law firm. Now back to the video.
So out of basically, what's your close rate?
One of the things that we're very much working on over the last couple of months has been to get a much stronger grasp on these kind of figures in terms of conversion rate for our marketing efforts, contracts, where they're coming from. And that's all stuff that we've just started working on in the last few months, like trying to really hone in on it. I don't have like an answer, like a figure. I don't necessarily have a figure that I could share.
I could just give people some idea to at least get you started on it. So the first number that you want to know is how many leads you're getting. Okay, so ask yourself, where are my leads coming from and how can I track that? So that at the end of the month, I could say that I got 100 leads from my website, 100 leads from this thingy, 100 leads from that. So that's the first step. Just figuring out how many leads you're getting from each source. That requires more conversation, which is basically you need to track it. Each one could have its own tracking source or tracking link or its own different things that I don't want to get into right now. But that's the first thing. Second thing, information is how many meetings are you having? Just pure numbers. For that, a simple way to just do that is a Zapier integration that says every time there's a meeting that comes in, put it into a Google Sheet that keeps track of the date, who scheduled, their emails, their phone numbers, any answers that they gave, plus with whoever with who. That way, at the end of the month, you could go back and see, oh, in March, we had 160 meetings. The last thing is obviously your CRM to keep track of how many number of clients. That way, you could kind of evaluate upfront, this is how much I spend on marketing, and my cost per lead is this much, my cost per meeting is this much, my cost per acquisition is this much. And then more numbers that come on the outside of that is how much revenue per meeting that you generated, revenue per client that you generated. And at that point, you compare how much it costs to get generated meeting and how much the value they got per meeting. Well, it cost me $100 to get a meeting and I make $500 for every meeting that I have. Okay, so maybe I should do whatever it takes to get as many meetings as I can until that levels off to maybe about 1-to-3 ratio. That's kind of like a short way to kind of explain it.
It's always been a very big, challenge for us in our practice to be able to hone in on these things. But something that's been really helping us of late is HubSpot. HubSpot has certain packages that can really help you identify what's taking place with your advertising spend and seeing like what's resulting from it. So, I mean, I very much am a proponent of that. And Sam, you may have like other methods that you have to track.
It's not easy. It's probably the hardest part, and we're also working on it internally, and it takes a couple of months. But yeah, it's a must in order for you to scale. It makes things much easier once you have clear in your numbers. It just now you're now willing to spend more and do more and be more open with growing. Violetta asked the question, and I have an answer for this too, but I'm going to ask you. In Google Ads, do you have a separate campaign for marriage visas or just a general campaign for immigration?
We do service specific campaigns. I'm sure like that people have success with both, but we prefer doing service specific. So like marriage based, as opposed to just immigration.
Short answer is it comes down to running tests. What I would do, my strategy would be evaluate my last 12 months. In my last 12 months, which two top practice types did I get the most? That'll be the first 2 or 3 months will just be an A/B test of one of those two, the top two. From that, evaluate which is did I get the most of with the lowest cost per acquisition. If it's very close, keep at it. And if it's profitable, keep at it. If not, but usually one will be much better than the other. Then I would find any excuse to spend more on this one. And if this one is still profitable, great, I'll still run that. But I will look to basically continue adding more budget into the one that it's very clearly the best. Just know that also if you do the typical routes, if you do the general stuff, like everyone knows how to target immigration. So that one will always be the most competitive. But at the same time, it will also be the most, have the highest volume because most people just take the most general approach to look for an immigration lawyer. So it just comes down to putting it up, kind of being experimental early, saying I'm going to run family-based visas versus immigration and seeing which comes out as the winner. And with another nuance is make sure to give it enough budget, give both of them a chance. We are going to do it. Don't Mickey Mouse, as some people say, with budgets, give it a healthy budget early on so that you find out early if it works or not. You don't want to drag on 6 months in, you still don't know whether this is the thing or not. And again, the money that you make, the way you got to see it is it's a way, it's a resource for you to help you make you more money. It's not your money. Right, Michael? Do you feel like any money that you make is necessarily yours? Not really. It's just like it's more play money, the way I kind of look at it.
Yeah, that's something that Hamid helps with is this idea and this understanding that you have to keep trying new things, and there's a cost associated with that. Again, this is not stuff that's been intuitive for me, but when you have someone basically constantly mentioning you have to do this, there's no choice, you have to, and you just start to get more and more comfortable with it. And
I know you struggled with that for like 2 years. I would hear it on the back end. Michael is still hasn't done this. I'm like, Michael, stop overthinking it, just do it. Don't worry about it. It'll play itself. Things play itself out. It's much better. We both learned this from Hamid. It's just better to do it, see what the results are, and then decide based on that. But don't get stuck on should I or not. You have no idea. It's like just do it and then find out. Again, little tests, like kind of lay the seeds and see what comes back. Have you thought about doing YouTube in languages other than English?
It's a great question. I actually saw like a video from Mr. Beast that he has a lot of success doing that. And actually there is like a very straightforward way to do it, because you can just hire people on Upwork to basically translate and dub your videos. I haven't personally done it because I'm very careful about like, I don't know if they're going to translate it like exactly the way I said it. And, for me, it's very, I care a lot about making sure that, the way I say things in a video, it's like very like specific, and if one thing is like, instead of saying may, it's like will, and it's like, it changes like the, what's being communicated. I'm sensitive to that. Also, when you put out content in a particular language and somebody may only speak that language, you now have to have the back end to basically conduct the whole evaluation process in that language too. That's another thing to consider. I think it's very valuable, but to answer the question, I haven't done it yet.
My answer is if you evaluate your past 12 months and you have more than 40-50% of your clients are that specific language, then absolutely 100%. That's your blue ocean. 100% go all in on that. And I've seen a lot of successful people where that's literally their only secret sauce. In my mind, like personal injury, they just serve a very specific language or a specific market, and that's working really successfully for them. Like I have something in my head, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's literally the reason why. So totally, I pushed you for that before. 100%. Don't overthink it. Serve that market. Make all your content in that language. Your website, your funnels, your emails, your text, everything. Your intakers, and you will see that just for that reason, you will do really well. And the other thing, your conversion rates will be much higher in a specific language than English. People resonate well with people that can speak their own language. I know this numerically. I run a couple of my campaigns that are successful in English. I go turn them into Spanish. Our cost per lead is higher, but when we look at the cost per acquisition, it's significantly lower. If I would have just done it based on cost per lead, I would have looked at them, oh no, it's 2 times expensive. I'm like, no, but I look at the actual numbers. I'm like, wait, it's converting. These clients converting much at a higher rate because maybe they could either based on them, maybe they're just easier people, or 2, they resonate better with somebody who could speak their language and there's more trust and stuff built there. So totally 100%. Do you advertise on YouTube?
We haven't made it a focus. So I'm not so familiar. Sam, you probably know this more, but I believe running YouTube ads is done through the Google platform directly. And I know that there's some form of, advertisement that we're doing on YouTube, but certainly not to the extent that I've seen other firms do it, where they're actually displaying, like Sam, for example, I see Legal Funnel basically promoting its organic videos as ads with the call to action to subscribe. So we don't do that. I think it's very potentially very valuable to do stuff like that, particularly for firms that have organic content. We just haven't done it yet.
I think not everybody needs to do upfront, but when you get to a certain level, when you already are doing the Google ads and maybe Facebook ads and things like that, then yeah, that will put a boost to everything else you're doing. I think the easiest low-hanging fruit on YouTube is it's very easy. For people that know the back end of Google ads, it's literally just give it a link, go target these people. And even the targeting these days is run by AI. You just say, you don't have to give it any targeting, which is crazy. Just put up the video and it knows who to target. But the best format is just retargeting of people that have already been to your website and funnels and things like that. Those people see it and you become kind of like a celebrity, omnipresent. Some people call it omnipresence, and that increases your conversion rates. Just with $1,000 or $2,000 a month budget, all of a sudden, you're really well known in that space for this thing. When you get to a certain point, yeah, totally, it does work. And also, it's a blue ocean. Not that people are doing it. Again, it's kind of like TV commercials. TV commercials work very successfully for a lot of people for 20, 30 years. They built big law firms based on that. It's the same thing for YouTube ads. People that are running it successfully are doing well with it. But like I said, not for everybody, but for some people, yes.